Hey SUBFURYs! I tried to find out who the first person to suggest this topic was, but I couldn't. But it is one of my most requested theories, for some reason, and today we'll be talking about it. Dragon migration, and then more specifically, do Nightfuries migrate? And if so, where do they go?
As far away from you as possible.
I will take you off that shelf, Spyro. Let's get started. Now, there are different types of migration, but broadly speaking, it is where a large population of a species of animals moves from one place to another place in response to things happening in the world around them. Now, the reason that animals migrate differs from species to species, as well as the type of migration. I was going to put all of this in one video, but as I was writing it, I kind of realized I needed to make two videos. So today we'll be talking kind of more generally about dragon migration, and then next video we'll be looking at Toothless's behavior and biology to see what he can tell us about Nightfuries, about whether they migrate, and if they do, where do they go? Also, I know that migration happens in a lot of other animals as well, but I'll mostly be talking about birds. So you have probably heard in science class about long-distance seasonal migration, where birds travel thousands of kilometers from the north to the south, flying from one place where they breed and give birth to another place that is warmer during the winter. But long-distance migration doesn't necessarily mean going from one end of the world to the other. The pink-footed goose actually only migrates from Iceland to Britain to escape the harsh northern winters. And it's this kind of migration that we see dragons do in Gift of a Nightfury. On one of the coldest days of the year on Berk, they see a massive flock, pod? Lounge? A lounge is a group of lizards. What would a group of dragons be called? Like a pack of gronkles? Because they're kind of like dogs? Either way, a massive joint migration passes by Berk, and all of the dragons on Berk up and go with them. Except for Toothless, and we'll get to why next video. Now, it's a bit of an odd mix on how bird migration works, but judging by the direction that Meatlug flies often, south, and the general look of the island that they all fly to, we can probably say that they go on an annual migration to a hotter place to breed. And the fact that they don't travel for more than a few days tells us that this dragon migration is more like the pink-footed goose, where they travel from this utterly freezing land of snow with a side of death that some people actually live in today because they must enjoy frostbite or something, to an island in kind of this general area. But one of the interesting things about dragon migration is that we saw that Meatlug, Stormfly, and Hookfang were all compelled to go on this migration. We saw the pupils of their eyes narrow, just like when they're controlled by the Red Death or the Bewilderbeast. And it was really interesting to see that their eyes narrowed like that. At first I just thought it was something to do with an alpha, but clearly it is kind of the sign of their instinct kicking in. Instincts that are so strong that they pretty much can't help doing something, like migrate or obeying an alpha. Kind of like me in Dancing to ABBA. Or just like how humans cannot resist but bow down to our supreme leader Mishka. All hail Mishka. But I also noticed something quite unique to dragon migration that's very different to bird migration. Stormfly, Hookfang, and Meatlug were only compelled to go and join the migration once the flock, pod, lounge, I don't know, you tell me in the comments, once this massive group of dragons was passing by. And now this is interesting because it's quite different to how most bird species work. They know when and where to fly with or without their flock. They might just wake up on the first day of spring and turn to their friend and say, "You know, dude, what? I'm going to Germany." "What's Germany?" "Huh? Right now, I just have a really good feeling about it." So they can just do it by themselves, but in dragons, it's implied that there is a strong social factor needed to begin the migration. And this is backed up by the fact that when Toothless got on Hookfang and started to fly away from the island, he triggered the migration back. So yes, some dragons do migrate. But do Nightfuries? Possibly yes, possibly no. But I'll be getting into that next video. Oh, and by the way, thanks for a really positive response, SUBFURYs, to my book, maybe in the future. It's a really big confidence booster to know that you guys might be interested in reading it. So thanks a lot, I'll keep working at it. It's hard because I've actually been writing young adult literature for kind of a long time now. I put off fantasy writing to kind of focus on that. contract, so I'm still getting back into the swing of it, but it's coming back slowly. Thank you, and I'll keep you updated. On another note, I have received so many entries, awesome entries for the SUBFURY art competition. Seriously, I didn't expect to get this many, but thank you guys, this is incredible. I won't show you any of them now. I want to kind of wait for a bit. I'll make like a whole video where I go through the entries and stuff like that, because seriously, some of them are just incredible. What I will show you is the SUBFURY art of the week that I was sent earlier on. It is I need to show you this. Sent in by Chingwin on Twitter, it shows Spyro just being the loyal, trustworthy, supportive friend that we all know him to be.
I'm not your friend.
So thanks for sending that in. But that's all from me, SUBFURYs. My question to you is, what would you call a pack of dragons? Also, don't tell anyone.
I'm gonna tell someone.
But I just received a special package in the mail and I can't wait to show you what. Which I will do when I reach 20,000 SUBFURYs, which is... Hang on, I just checked and I didn't realize it was that close. I have to figure out what to do for my 20,000 subscriber video. In the meantime, support me on Patreon, and I'd love it if you followed me on Twitter, Wattpad, Facebook, emailed me, or send me stuff at the address and the links in the description below. The details for the SUBFURY art competition are also there. Stay nerdy, SUBFURYs, and I'll see you in the future.